What up, doe? What up, doe, everybody? Welcome to Taybiz TV. Let's get it popping. Let's get it popping. All right, welcome to Taybiz TV, man. This your boy Taybiz. I'm here, man. We are here to discuss the matter at hand. You saw the thumbnail concerning the Sean Mickey Steins lead investigator by the name of Detective Clayton Stamper, who we're trying to figure out what did he actually detect and what did he actually do. All right. Shout out to Chill, first mod in the building, saying Biz Nation, what up, though? All right, we are here to talk about this case, man. We are here another day. It's been a beautiful day. It was a little bit frustrating day at work, though. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little bit irritated towards the latter parts of the day, but we are here in good spirits. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna let that damper the topic, which is Stamper. You know what I'm saying? We are definitely going to continue to rock out and look into this case. Again, for those of you who may not know anything about this case, this is the case of Sean Mickey Steins on September the 19th, 2024, which is this is almost a year ago. We saw on video a sheriff of Letcher County shoot the judge, who goes by the name of Kevin Mullins. We see him shoot the judge on camera inside of the judge's chambers. Okay. We're going to get into this case, but we're going to get into the main thing I wanted to talk about tonight is the entire investigation process that happened, or the lead up to this, right? The lead up and also the investigation by the lead investigator, who goes by the name of Detective Clayton Stamper, who is a detective for the Kentucky State Police. He has been on a couple of cases. I actually looked him up a little bit. He was on a case where two people were found dead in their home. He was the lead investigator for that. And I don't believe there was any major result or convictions with that particular case. However, in this case, what we're going to do is we're not going to act like the man isn't guilty of shooting and murdering the judge. Oh, he's guilty. No, he's guilty. He's guilty of doing that for sure. However, was it first degree murder, which is what the indictment states, or was this a passion, a heat of passion, which is voluntary manslaughter or involuntary manslaughter? The reason why the indictment matters, the reason why the charge matters, is because the first degree murder charge is the only charge in the state of Kentucky. If you are committed or convicted of a first degree murder, you are eligible for the death penalty. And so, again, one of the things that I've never seen before is I've never seen a sheriff shoot his own judge. Never seen this. Not only shoot him, but actually finish the job in murdering this gentleman. September the 19th, 2024, in the late afternoon. Well, I would say late afternoon, like 2-3 o'clock. There is a uproar at the Letcher County courthouse, where the judge's chambers reside. And this is where we see Kevin Mullins get shot 8 times by his own sheriff and supposed friend, Sean Mickey Steins. Okay. Sean Mickey Steins was once his court security or bailiff. All right. And then I believe the previous sheriff was getting ready to be done. And since Mickey Steins was grandfathered in, he was able to get the job as sheriff. He ran for sheriff. He was elected as sheriff of the Letcher County. All right. This man here was a neighborhood favorite. All right. He was able to win his election. He was able to recommend his successor and one Ben Fields. Ben Fields was the one who was indicted on charges of third degree R word. He was utilizing sex for exchange for those young ladies who were on not house arrest, but on ankle monitors, who couldn't afford them. Since they couldn't afford them, he would have sexual relations with them. And then what he would do was reattach the ankle monitor back onto them, or he'll have the young lady who was in charge of the monitors to have them turned off for a little bit and then turn them back on right before they go to court. So that way it looks like they're doing what they're supposed to do and things of that nature. So this case is connected in some way to the whole Ben Fields civil lawsuit and things of that nature, because Sean Mickey Steins is a part of the defendants in his elected capacity because he failed to train Ben Fields properly. Okay. And so now, because there was a sex for favor, that's what they're calling it, sex for favors scandal. The scandal is not just Ben Fields, but also one of the young ladies by the name of Sabrina Atkins. She also stated that she witnessed Judge Kevin Mullins doing inappropriate things with inmates in his chambers, allegedly, according to Sabrina Atkins. All right. Very interesting stuff here. One of the things that we're going to look at is the day of the shooting, which is September the 19th. There's like a 2-hour body cam footage on Court TV. We have went over a lot of body cam footage here on this channel. If you look at my at the playlist, you will see the Sean Mickey Steins playlist. When you see this, you will see certain aspects of this case. The body cam footage, at first when it came out, it gave us a portion of it. It gave us a portion that occurred when Sean Mickey Steins was in the Sallyport, headed to the Leslie County jail because they transferred him. But then they start giving us more footage and new footage of right after he shot the judge and he surrendered himself. He was in the hallway. Kentucky police walks up to him. And this is where things got real bizarre. All right. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at some new footage here. I want to get, because again, we've covered a lot of this. So what I wanted to do was go to the tail end, to the latter parts, last 10 minutes of the body cam footage, because you will hear the officers asking Mickey Steins questions, and you will see him inside of the Sallyport of the other county jail. And then we're going to look at some footage of the people who were in chambers. We're going to look at their interview with an interviewer, I believe a detective of some sort or officer of some sort, asking them questions about Mickey Steins' behavior throughout the day or in that moment in chambers. Now, we didn't have this footage before. Shout out to Court TV. Shout out to Vinny Politan for doing an excellent job on keeping up with this case. We have been keeping up with this case on this channel. As a matter of fact, pinned to the chat right now is my Google folder. You will see the indictment. You will see the lawsuit of Sabrina Atkins. You will see the transcript of the deposition of Sean Mickey Steins, which occurred 3 days before the shooting. We do know and understand that He was worried about his wife and family being kidnapped. All right. And there are some people who are saying that this man was a vigilante. This is getting crazy, y'all. I'm telling you, this is getting crazy. All right. A vigilante, really. You know, they actually utilize these words. Some people have utilized, I've seen it on X, I've seen it in certain articles where some people are like, look, it's so corrupt in Kentucky that somebody had to do something. So some people actually have that mindset about this case. We're also going to revisit Jeremy Bartley's cross-examination in the preliminary hearing, specifically with Clayton Stamper, because he's the lead investigator. What did you discover during your investigation? What did you discover during your investigation? And what have you contributed to this investigation? We're going to get into all of that. All right. Shout out to everybody that's coming through right now. Look, if you are watching me on X, I appreciate it. If you're watching me on YouTube, come on, say something. Hit me up in the chat. It's all love. It's all good. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to get started first with the body cam footage. And we want to see what's going on here. We want to see what is popping on this. And let's get started, man. Let's check it out. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I'm switching up. All right, here we go. What up, though? Trakisha in the building. Stopping by and saying what up to your homie. Look here. We about to get into this body cam footage real quick. Apologize for the mistake I made. I'll try to do a sweet little intro. It didn't work out that way, but it's all good. Let's go ahead and recap and redo this thing. All right, body cam footage first. We want to look at the actual finishing parts of the body cam footage. Again, it's a 2-hour long body cam footage that Court TV was able to get from Letcher County, from the police department, and so they were able to showcase this. But we have seen a lot of this already, but we want to look at this part here where he's inside of the car. At this point, he's already been showing how paranoid he is and things of that nature, and it just continues. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Mickey, we're almost to the jail. I just want to ask one last time, is there anything you want? I mean, was this anything to do with your family? I mean, if that's some information that we need to know. I mean, you know, depending on what kind of information comes out, always can change how investigations are worked. You know what I mean? And how they're looked at. You know that.
All right, just for reference, Mickey Steins was known at this point because of his crackdown on meth, no pun intended. But he was cracking down on meth, on the meth that was moving heavy down there in that area. He made a bust, and I think because it's a small town, I think it was like a $2 to $3, maybe almost $4,000 thing that happened. He discovered a lot of money. He discovered a lot of drugs, and that was something that he was really known for, as far as one of the things that he did that was like on point. So this is the area. This is Letcher County area. This is Whitesburg. This is Whitesburg, Kentucky. Neon area. That the Letcher County area is where he just, did this bust that occurred. And this occurred, this is 2025, so this occurred around 2022, 2022, 23, something of that nature. And this is the interesting part, is the fact that during this bust, there was like pictures, and like he was in the Mountain Eagle, which is a local news, digital and print news company. He was really like, it was really praising Mickey. Plus, he was a nice guy. His reputation was almost impeccable. Even though they knew he wasn't the most knowledgeable guy as far as like certain things, but he was very, very respected. And so they're like, Mickey, you know this, you know this, you know that. They're not treating him as like he's a novice or anything like that. However, he's never really done any like deep, hardcore investigative work like this. So this is the reason why something of this profile, a high profile, this is one of the reasons why Kentucky State Police has gotten involved, because of the high profile case that this is. This is very high profile. And so their interaction with him is more like a respect level and things of that nature, although they do know like you ain't never done this before. So they know that this is difficult. And plus they're transferring him. He already thought that they were going the wrong way on purpose to murder him. He really felt that. He really thought like, okay, guys, this is not the way to go to the jail. This is not it. Come on, guys, be fair to me. Be fair to me. Come on, guys, don't do this to me now. Don't do this to me. Right? This is what he kept saying the whole time. The paranoia was real. And again, the Biz Nation, you all know, here on Tay-Biz TV, we have talked about this case in extent. All right. And even if there's been a pause because we're trying to discover some more information, when more information come out, we get into it. So again, the folder for Sean Mickey Steins is pinned to the chat. So if you want to take a look at transcripts, if you want to take a look at the lawsuit with Sabrina Atkins and Ben Fields, his deposition and his interview, he had an interview with the state with the Attorney General, with one of the detectives from the Attorney General office, and also he had a deposition as well. And Mickey Steins had a deposition 3 days before he murdered Kevin Mullins. So this right here is like everything is happening so quickly, if you will. All right. Shout out to Starfish and Coffee saying, hey, Tay and Biz Nation, with the hearts and with the love. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's continue.
Because like I said, something led to this.
Hey, you want to drink it today?
Go ahead.
Service ain't here. Hear me call her.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dave.
Can you think what's it?
I got it.
T4, I think 609 is the signature right there.
That's 10:45. So go ahead.
10:45. Did you say 10? Call 10:45.
Yeah.
For myself, appreciate you taking mind me nice down here.
Just wait before we get out and see what's going on here.
Do what?
What?
Nick, we're going up to the.
What up, though, KP?
On top of this hill.
Yes, you can see it right there. You can see it. Not the jail. I promise you it is.
Yeah.
It's not the jail.
Don't stress. We're right here.
This is not the jail.
He's paranoid, man.
I heard.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, we're going. 497.
It's in my front seat of my car. Clayton's got my keys. Yeah. Yeah. With some other personal property. So. Okay. Okay. We're pulling into the jail here. I'll call you back here in a little bit. I ain't got it with me. It's there. It's at the scene in my car. Clayton's got my key. Clayton's got my keys. Okay. See you. Bye. Okay, Mickey. Anyway, so do you want to talk about it? Is this to do with anything with your family, your daughter, or anything?
Yes, ma'am.
Bring one in.
I won't say about transport in the side door.
Okay.
Do they have to back out to get out, or does that circle out?
Does it circle out or do they?
Yeah, it circles out.
Okay. So, is
Who you passing me off to?
Leslie County? We've talked about this. This is Leslie County Jail.
Who you passing me off to, though?
Oh, they ain't no.
Nobody. He knows the way here. We didn't know the
He
way.
knew the way here.
Yeah.
Y'all are passing me off here now to somebody.
Mickey, I don't know why you think this.
Yeah, just.
Y'all are going to let somebody hurt me.
No.
I promise.
You hear that?
But
You hear that? Y'all gonna let somebody hurt me. Okay. Now, listen, if this is an act, this is like the greatest act of paranoia of all times. If this is an act. Do you all think this is an act? Do you all think this is an act? If you think this is an act, put a 1 in the chat real quick. If you think this is a full act that he's putting on, put a 1 in the chat, because he's been acting this way since leading up to about 2-3 weeks now, according to reports, and also according to his own attorney. Sleepy said 2. Sleepy said I put a 2 on that boy. I ain't buying it. So Chill said, no, I don't think it's an act. Yes, I plan on streaming this trial. If this goes to trial, I definitely plan on streaming it. Yes. Again, with my schedule, it may be one of those streams that's like maybe late afternoon or late, like early evening streams, but we're definitely gonna be streaming this for sure. Absolutely, 100%. I'm not familiar with the case. If you're not familiar with this case, Trakisha, go ahead and look at the playlist on this channel, and I have some videos and footage and things of that nature to get you right here and caught up. Okay. It goes over. I have information about the lawsuit that occurred. I have information about Ben Fields. Again, Ben Fields was a deputy or a bailiff who was utilizing his power to have sexual relations with inmates who were on parole or on probation or had ankle monitors. They couldn't afford their ankle monitors. He would have sex with them in exchange for the fact that they couldn't afford it. And then he got indicted and investigated, and then he ultimately pled guilty. Okay. Yeah. This case goes deeper than it's about the Judge Mullins shooting, but it's connected with a lot of things that leads up to it. See, on face value, like, oh, he shot the judge, is taken to jail, which is true. He's going to go to jail. He's going to go to jail, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And he should. Is he going to get the death penalty? Is it first-degree murder? Was there motivation in this? Did they indict him correctly? There was a secret meeting between the grand jury, the prosecutor, and Clayton Stamper, where they had a secret unrecorded meeting where the grand jury was trying to ask questions to investigate, and they didn't get the answers that they needed. Never was recorded. Jeremy Bartley, the defense attorney for Sean Mickey Steins, he puts in a motion to dismiss the indictment. It's in the folder. Okay. It's in the motion to dismiss his indictment. The prosecution did respond and say, hey, we do not want you to dismiss this indictment. This whole recording thing, it wasn't nothing. It was something small. It was nothing that needed to be recorded. But I have statues in this folder that's pinned to the chat. I have screenshots of the statues in Kentucky where all grand jury meetings must be recorded without any ifs, ands, or buts about it. The judge the new judge, I think his name is Christopher Cologne. He's the preside. He can't. Again, this happened in Letcher County. He shot the judge, so the judge, by default, cannot in Letcher County can't try this case, of course. So he's a special judge, Christopher Cologne, who is going to, Christopher Cologne, I believe, he's going to preside over this trial. There was another preliminary hearing that happened, or meeting that happened and occurred, that I have in the playlist here on Tables TV. You will see where the judge grants Mickey Steins the opportunity to get mental investigation done upon him with the Kentucky Correctional Department, where they will go ahead and actually say he sanctioned it, and they're going to actually go ahead and examine Mickey Stein's mental stability or instability, because he has acute California something. It's like a California something encephalitis. It's in his brain where it has like an excess amount of water in his brain a little bit, but it's a small amount, but it's enough to cause like migraines. It's enough to cause seizures. It's enough to trigger things. So it's a lot of different things that's going on here. And so what we need to understand and what we're trying to figure out is this murder of the first degree? Is this man putting on the act? Was he really paranoid? Was his family in any danger for real? You got other people that's connected to this, like Michael Clark, Tim Robinson, who is the CEO of ARC, the addiction recovery care company, who's under investigation by the FBI for Medicaid fraud for up to $130 million. He knew Kevin Mullins because Tim Robinson and Kevin Mullins have their own nonprofit recovery organization that accumulated funds as well. It's a lot of stuff going on here. All right. It's a lot of stuff going on here. All right. Sleepy says, y'all notice how they kept asking if this had anything to do with his daughter? Absolutely. And why? Why is that the case? Because he said they're trying to kidnap my daughter, my wife and my daughter. Okay. He's been up for 2 weeks. As a matter of fact, he's been up disrupting his family so much, the wife kicked him out the house. It's a lot going on here. Let's finish it out.
Oh, I promise.
Now, guys, be fair.
Now, I told you we would be.
Yeah. Don't pass me off to nobody.
The only people we're passing you off to is the jailers inside here.
Just the jail.
Just the jailers. So
they said there's somebody in there that they got to clear out before we can pull in.
Yeah, come on now, guys.
Well, let's talk about this real fast, Mickey. Is this anything to do with your family? I think that's some information that would be nice to be out there so we knew what exactly led to this. You can go on. Maybe you're going to talk.
Don't put me in that Leslie County van.
We're not.
No, we're not.
They're taking you inside.
Hey, pull up a little farther for me so we can put him in.
Oh, girl.
What is they so you squeeze?
That other car in.
Let's still get in there and be close. Get in there.
Yeah. Come on out, Mickey. Slide on out.
No, Lord no. We're staying from that.
We'll just get these cuffs when we switch out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna know who those are. Danny Clark, boys.
Yeah, I got them first.
Danny, you remember me? Anthony Trotter. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
We worked at E-Rad together a long time ago.
Yeah.
Been
I missed it. I've got one of the guys I work with, Ben Allen, his boys, or Darren
Okay,
Allen,
Mickey.
his son Ben Allen keeps sending me videos.
oh yeah, from me, Red.
Yeah.
You are fine.
Mickey, nobody's gonna hurt you. I promise
Reason
you.
why you're here.
Yeah. Mickey, before me and Jason go, I just want to make sure you want to say anything else or anything. If so, we'll go in there and sit down. If not, that's okay.
If you want to talk to him, we got a room for you to go in. If you want to talk to him.
Yeah. I know it ain't comfortable. You,
Try the best.
yeah.
Keep person handcuffs and stuff.
So, Mickey, before we go, do you want to go in there and talk to me and Jason some more, or are you good, or you just want to go on in? It's up to you. If you do, me and Jason will walk in there with you.
I just don't want nobody to hurt.
Nobody's gonna hurt you.
Look like, yeah, right.
You just gonna go on in with them, or do you want to come in there and talk to us some?
I just don't want nobody to hurt.
Well, answer that question. Do you want us to come in there and talk to us, or do you just want to go on in there with him?
Come in here with me and him and let me try and tell you a little bit of what the Department of Corrections told me, so you'll understand what's going to go on.
You want to interview him first? We're going.
No.
Do you want to talk to us?
I just don't want nobody to hurt me.
We ain't going to hurt you.
I think we're just going to go. We've been doing round robin with them, and it's been like this for
Okay.
yeah. We try to interview them up there, and Mickey, I'm just telling you though, if there's something you need to tell us before we go. Okay, we're going to leave, Mickey.
All right. Oh, wow. I didn't even get to see all that before. This is my first time actually seeing that part. Where they was really constantly trying to figure out, if he was going to talk or not, which he did not do. I want to revisit again. This is so crazy because it's like it's a mixed emotion here. You know what I'm saying? Because it's one instance, it's a lot of people that's like, man, this dude's faking, man. He trying to fake like he's slow now, and all of a sudden, blah, 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 whatever. Then there's some real stuff that really took place. So you just never know what's going on in somebody's head. Starfish Coffee says during an episode of encephalitis, the brain swells and gathers water, right? You fall unconscious and may not recall facts around the immediate time of the episode. Very, very true. And so he has this. It's called acute California encephalitis. He has this, which is the reason why he is being examined by the Kentucky correctional examiners that examine for mental health and things of that nature, right? And so it's a lot. I was just about to say this too. There's so much going on in his head. It's a lot going on in his mind. The main thing he's concerned about is not having his wife and family kidnapped and hurt, and then not having himself hurt as well. Now, I want to get into what I want to get into is the investigation part of it all. I have a book, right? I have a book that I've been reading in and out of about the FBI and their book and the guidelines and the procedures that they go by when they do an investigation. We're talking about an on-scene homicide investigation. Okay. And one of the things that they do, especially the lead investigator, is if you notice a lot of times when they come in, the lead investigator comes in, it's like, it's my show, it's my thing. I'm orchestrating this, I'm quarterbacking this. Nobody does anything without my permission, which by law and order, that's true. And so the lead investigator is supposed to investigate, ask questions, look at film footage, He was asking Mickey some questions. We saw that when we looked at our other videos and lives that we did on this channel. We saw body cam footage and we saw how Clayton Stamper, who is the lead investigator, right? We saw how he was sitting with Mickey Steins and trying to figure out what happened, what led to this, why you keep saying that we're going to hurt you, why you keep saying these particular things. Again, Clayton Stamper, to be fair to him, the Clayton Stamper, he is a Kentucky State Police officer and investigator. He is not a Letcher County officer or sheriff. So he doesn't really know Mickey Steins like that. Okay. So what happens with any job you go to? You just do what you've been taught. Right? I'm in IT and I'm telling you, people, they know how to do their job, but they don't know nothing about the computers. You know, they have no idea how to save files, like something as simple as that. Like hit save as and rename it. Like they don't even know how to do that at times, you know, things of that nature. And now I'm more so in the data security and directory side of things. So I don't have to deal with people all the time. So that's fantastic. That's an elevation. Right? That's an elevator. But the thing is that when you're investigating, you're supposed to talk to everybody. And the thing about what I love about what we're about to watch is that I want us to watch one more time the actual cross-examination first of Mickey Stein's lawyer, Jeremy Bartley, and Detective Clayton Stamper. Okay. And I went past the part where the prosecution, all they did was ask a handful of questions. They showed the video with it's a video with no sound anyway. This particular video is in the judge's chambers. And the reason why the judge had video in his chambers or a camera in his chambers is because of the lawsuit against Ben Fields with Sabrina Atkins. And the lawsuit also mentioned Mickey Steins in his elected capacity. Mickey Steins was not accused of doing anything sexually inappropriate to no one. Just to be clear on that. However, there's not one time I ever heard of a judge having a camera in his chambers. Not one time. Not even when we went through the YSL trial and they had an ex parte meeting. Ex parte. Okay. It's just an extra party. No, an ex parte where you don't get a video in there. Now, if they are having if a judge is having a conversation with another attorney for whatever reason they need to deem for, and there is reasons for a private or ex parte meeting, the court reporter is normally present to make sure that the ex parte meeting have transcript, just like Miss Weaver from the YSL trial did. So, come to find out that transcript was not fully it had some proofread parts to it, but allegedly, right? But that's what normally happens. You've never heard, think about it. You've never heard of a judge having a camera system in his chambers. The chambers, according to Glanville, is sacrosanct, right? Never heard of it, really. So the chambers did not have cameras before this lawsuit, and there was multiple accusations going on that led to this, where they had no choice. They were sanctioned, ordered to have camera in chambers. Okay? Just in this small town here, Whitesburg, Kentucky, Letcher County, where they try to be fair to you. Right here. And so Detective Stamper here is on the stand. I just want to see this one more time with you all so we can actually look at this. And then we're going to get into some more video where he's asking specific questions that are very important. And let's look at Stamper's response to these questions. And not only that, his reaction, his facial expressions, his body language. All right. Let's go ahead and check this out real quick. Let's get into it. If y'all feeling all right tonight, put a 1 in the chat, man. Let me know that y'all here with your boy. All right, let's go. Let's get into it.
Like cross-examine the witness?
I would, Your Honor. That was a short clip that was played there. How long do you believe that clip was?
That we just watched,
Yes, sir.
just 10 seconds, 15 seconds.
10, 15 seconds. In fact, the video that was taken in the judge's chambers between the meeting between Sheriff Steins and Judge Mullins, it's my understanding that video lasted much longer, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And have you had an opportunity to review the video
I have.
of the prior incident?
I have.
And can you describe for us what happened immediately prior?
Y'all want me to put it on 1.25 or 1.15? What about 1.25? Would that be okay? 1.25. Your boy KP said, I'm tired, man. Let's look at 1.25. Let's see if that works. Or let's go 1.15. How about that?
To the clip that we saw.
Sheriff Steins uses his telephone to make some phone calls. He then borrows Judge Mullins' cell phone and appears to make a call on that. And that led to what you just saw.
Okay. So it's my understanding there were some people who were having a meeting with Judge Mullins prior to the sheriff's entry into the chambers. Is that correct?
Yes.
Have you identified those witnesses?
I don't know the names of them. There's about approximately 4 people in there. Then Sheriff Steins enters the judge's chambers and everybody else clears out.
You don't know their names?
Not right off, no.
Have you prepared to?
Okay. You don't know their names? He asked them a specific question. I'll go to 1.25. Let's see if that works. But let's go back a little bit. He asked him a specific question about the people in the chambers. Do you know their names? He said no. You're the lead investigator, sir. The people who was in, those would be some very important people I would like to talk to. You're the lead investigator and you don't know who those people were. You should have questioned it was only a handful of them. It was like 4 or 5 people in there. Maybe 4. Michael Clark was one. He's a very important person to talk to. The reason why, because Michael Clark himself said that he was with the Mickey Steins all day that day. Michael Clark said that he was with Mickey Steins that whole day with him. Michael Clark also works for ARC, the very recovery company that's being investigated for Medicare fraud for upwards of $130 million. Okay, so that's an important person to talk to. Now, of course, he doesn't know that, but that's why you're an investigator. Your spidey senses go up to everything. This is what you're supposed to do. Now, we just regular common folk, as they would call us, and we know we would ask those questions. You know, well, who was you hanging with? Like when your mom and them, you know, okay, but who was you hanging with? And why was you hanging with them? Okay, you know who they are, right? You know they always in trouble. So why you hanging around them? They in trouble. That mean they get you in trouble. Now you in trouble with me. You know, all that kind of stuff, man. No, you can't get them past your moms, man. You know what I'm saying? So just common sense would be like, was there anybody else in the judge's chambers prior to the shooting? Just a simple question like that would have intrigued me. Some people say I missed my calling a little bit, or I missed my little gift when it comes to investigations. Because my question game is up here, and plus I'm in IT, so it kind of goes. You know what I'm saying? But that's been my career. But this is what you do. You ask questions. You ask questions.
Report.
Hold on. Let's go back a little bit.
Sheriff Steins enters the judge's chambers and everybody else clears out.
You don't know their names?
Not right off, no.
Have you prepared a report?
In the process, yes.
You're in the process of preparing a report?
Yes.
Now, mind you, this hearing happened in October, okay, of 2024. We talking about middle of October. The shooting happened September the 19th. This is like October the 20 something, I believe, in that area. You know, like you still don't know their names. You still don't know their name. Unbelievable.
Information.
But you've not spoken to any of those witnesses?
Not directly, but they've all been interviewed. There's recorded interviews of those people in the case.
Okay, so other
yet.
officers have spoken with those 4 witnesses?
Yes.
And what is your understanding of what those 4 witnesses have said?
I don't recall.
You have no idea what they said?
No.
That burns my biscuits right there. You had officers interview these people, but you don't recall what they said? You don't recall what they said? You didn't talk to the officers who interviewed these people? Something don't pass the smell test, man.
I want to make sure I understand. Had there been a hearing previously this day in chambers?
In the courtroom?
No, in chambers.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. And so there's a video camera that is running in the district judge's chambers. Is that on all the time?
It's my understanding, yes.
Okay. And have you spoken with anyone about why that may be?
No. There's cameras throughout the courthouse.
Well, fair enough, but are you familiar with
Come on, man.
district judges' chambers normally, how they're set up?
No. I mean, some of them have video surveillance and some don't.
Right, but
This one does.
generally when they have surveillance, you'd agree with me that that is utilized when there is a proceeding going on in chambers, correct?
It could be, yes.
Okay. And I mean, I'm just asking, so this video didn't have an audio recording to it, correct?
There's no audio.
Outside of once the 4 people that were inside that we don't know their names, once these 4 people had left the chambers, were they in an area adjacent where they could hear anything that was going on?
Yes, I believe some of them did remain in the next room.
Okay. And what did they tell us?
Do I?
What did they hear?
I've not been part. I wasn't part of those interviews.
Okay, so if I'm understanding correctly, you're prepared for a preliminary hearing on a murder, and there are witnesses in an adjacent room.
I mean, they heard
Now,
gunshots.
please, my question, please.
Yeah, that's the question.
Thank you, officer. So you are investigating a murder and testifying at a preliminary hearing, and there are witnesses who may have overheard what preceded this edited clip. Yet you can't tell us today anything that they said?
I've not personally listened to those interviews. I've talked to the other officers that did those interviews.
Fair enough. And I mean, we're here at a preliminary hearing, as you know, that you can testify to hearsay. I'm asking you what they said.
They heard gunshots.
Okay. Was there any statements that we overheard?
No.
Were there raised voices?
There, one person stated that she didn't recognize him as being Judge Mullins' voice, but heard somebody say, "Help, help."
Presumably that would be after the firearm was drawn or shot.
Objection, Your Honor.
I would draw, Judge. Okay. So is there any testimony that you can give us today about any statements or arguments or the content of that argument prior to the shooting?
No.
Okay.
Not one thing. Ladies and gentlemen, what we are witnessing is probably 80% of what happens all the time in your local area, wherever you live. We are putting people in positions, or people are being promoted in positions that do not thoroughly do their jobs. You know what happens when you don't thoroughly do your job at your workplace? They write you up. And if you keep messing up, you know what they do? They might even suspend you. They might even suspend you without pay. And if you just keep on keeping on, you know what they do? They get rid of you. They get rid of you. But for some reason, when it comes to the judicial system, we like keeping people around that ain't supposed to be around. This man has given you nothing. Now, this is over a month later that this shooting occurred. You still do not have details from the officers that interviewed these 4 individuals. The most information you got from these officers is that these witnesses said they heard gunshots. Yeah, everybody did. Everybody did. Stamper, what are you talking about? Now, you were singing like a caged bird in the grand jury meeting. But for some reason, now the preliminaries is here. All of a sudden, you got lockjaw, my boy. Do you even know the officers' names that were investigating or interviewing these witnesses? If you do know their names, well, did you ask them what were the names of those individuals they were witnessing? You're the lead investigator, sir.
I want to ask generally, so did you process the scene? Are you the lead investigator on this case?
I am.
Okay, so as a lead investigator, I would presume that you would have secured the chambers and evidence once you arrived.
I was part of that, yes.
You were part of it, right? But you're the lead investigator, so you'd be in charge of those duties and delegating what should be done. Is that fair?
No, I don't delegate what's done.
Okay, so you're the lead investigator. What does that mean?
I'm the case officer.
Okay, so you're carrying the case. So I want to make sure I understand, had
Shout out to Cat Now
Judge
Williams in the
Mullins been
building.
removed from chambers when you arrived?
No,
Were you able to ascertain, did he have a firearm on his person?
we did not locate one.
You did not locate one?
No, there's not one in the chambers.
And there was none on his person?
No.
Okay. All right, who was the first person to arrive on behalf of law enforcement to investigate?
They were already in the courthouse.
Fair enough, but I'm talking about in terms of people that we may see a report from or take part in this investigation. Who would be the first person?
I believe Trooper Jason Bates was the first KSP personnel on scene.
And you spoke with him and
I did.
he searched and did not locate a firearm?
No, he didn't search the scene. No,
His
role at that point was security of the scene.
I understand, but I'm just trying to ascertain, you said earlier that there's no firearm found.
No.
I'm wanting to know, can you tell us, was it specifically searched for a firearm?
In the judge's chambers,
Yes, sir.
there was myself, Detective Chris Collins, Detective Scott Caldwell, Detective Eric Caldwell. That's all I recall right now.
Okay, but I'm trying to understand, so who searched specifically for a firearm?
We all did.
And that was specifically something you looked for?
Yes.
Fair enough, okay.
What did you get from that? Seriously, what did you get from that? What did you get from that? Shout out to Cat Now Williams once again, always showing your boy love. I appreciate you, Cat, from the bottom of my heart. You already know how we do. I appreciate you so much. And please, well, this is like Cat family right here. I mean, a lot of us already rock with Cat. I was gonna say put Cat's channel in the chat, but everybody from Cat is here. That's good. That's what's up. So it's a family night, yo. It's a family night. Look, so he didn't get so basically nothing. Basically, absolutely nothing. Now, the officers' names you dropped and all that kind of stuff, but you don't have any information that is even like substantial enough for the courts to know anything about what led up to this. Now, he's the lead investigator, but he wasn't the one to like control or delegate the scene of what was going on. It was a collective effort. Okay. So I think lead investigator is just like saying president. You know, you're just fulfilling you're just enforcing the agenda of something else or someone else, right? It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense to me. Oh, Cat in the building. Is this you, Cat? She said, "Why are we gray?" Yeah, YouTube did it again, Cat. YouTube did it again. Yeah, Cat. YouTube did it again. Again, I thank you so much for the love. I definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Cat for showing the Cat for the $5 cash app. I appreciate it so much. That just warmed my heart. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is, I don't know what's going on, man. Like I went through the appeals thing and everything. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, let's get back to this real quick here though. Once again, but yeah, I don't know what lead investigator means anymore. It seems like it's just a name to go in front. It's almost like a doing business as a DBA. It's not really, it doesn't mean anything, obviously, because you can't delegate or orchestrate your own crime scene. So you say it's a collective effort of people who are trying to piece this together. Doesn't really make sense to me.
Of course, your investigation, did you ascertain that prior in the day, there had been a lunch meeting between Sheriff Steins and Judge Mullins?
There was.
Pardon?
There was.
Okay. Sorry, I
Well, he knows
didn't hear
that.
your response. I wasn't being trite. So where did this take place?
It's a restaurant called Streetside. It's just down the street from the courthouse.
Okay. And it's my understanding there were a couple of other people who attended the luncheon.
There were several, yes.
Okay. And at some point after that, they wrapped up lunch and left, obviously, and went back to the courthouse. Are you aware of anything so far in your investigation that would tell us there was any issues at lunch between Judge
No,
Mullins and Sheriff Steins?
no,
Okay. But someone on behalf of the KSB has spoken to those witnesses?
yes, they've all been interviewed.
And there's nothing unusual that had arisen during that luncheon?
I was told that the judge made a statement to Mickey about, do we need to meet private in my chambers? That's all I was told.
Do you know the context of
I do,
what the conversation was before that they would need to discuss in chambers?
I do not.
So it's my understanding that in the larger portion of the video that we haven't had access to, that there is a point when Sheriff Steins asked for to see the telephone of Judge Mullins.
Yes,
Is that a yes? I mean,
yes,
yes. Okay. And I would presume that you and the other officers you mentioned when you secured the scene, that you secured those phones as well. Is that correct?
yes.
And have you reviewed both of those phones?
They're currently at the forensic lab at this time being downloaded. I have had discussions with the people at the lab regarding the downloads.
And those are a couple of other questions that I was going to ask you, but my original question was, have you reviewed or are you aware of the content of the phones?
I've not personally seen it because I've not received those reports yet.
Okay, again, based on your conversations with the officers, are you aware of any recent content that was up and could have been relevant at the time of their discussion?
I was told that Sheriff Steins had tried to call his daughter, and he had tried to call his daughter from the judge's phone also.
So have you obtained the phone records from Judge Mullins' phone?
I don't have those in my possession yet. No.
Okay. Have you issued a search warrant for them?
Yes.
Okay. And have officers confirmed that the sheriff's daughter's phone number was on Judge Mullins' phone?
Yes.
Okay.
So, yes.
So that number had been called from Judge Mullins' phone. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, but how many times prior to that day? Remember, there was a report. Remember, there was a report about the fact that not only was the daughter's number in his phone, but it was saved as police. Yeah, the daughter's number was saved in the judge's phone as police. Can you believe that?
So we don't have a viewing of what transpired during that exchange of phones. But based upon your review of those moments prior to, when Sheriff Steins observes that cell phone, was he previously seated?
Yes,
Okay, so in the clip we saw, he was standing the entire time.
he was seated in front of the judge's desk.
And he looks at the cell phone. What is it? Can you describe his reaction in the video that we haven't seen?
Whose reaction?
Well, the sheriff.
You can't see his face in the video.
Okay, but is it clear that, does it appear to you that, let me rephrase this. Did he stand up after
Yes,
looking at the phone?
he stood up.
And how long after he looked at the cell phone and stood up did this occur that you played?
Just seconds.
Did you make the decision as on edits today for what you were going to present? In terms of, did you make the edit or determine
No,
which portion of the video we were going to see today?
no, sir, I did not.
Okay. Both cell phones have been sent to the Kentucky State Police Forensic
Yes,
Team, is that correct?
yes,
Have you gotten any early report on what was found?
no.
Were both phones still on the desk when you arrived?
The judge's phone was on the desk. Sheriff Stein's phone was on his person.
Okay, so are there photographs of, was the phone locked at that point or was it still open?
With both of you asking about both of them, or?
Well, first let's talk about, that's fair. First, I'm talking about Judge Mullins, since it was the one that was still on the desk and presumably nobody touched it prior to you securing it, correct?
No.
So, yeah, so we'd like to know about that. Have you ascertained what was currently open on that cell phone?
No, I don't know at this point.
You don't know?
No.
Okay, do you think that will be important to learn?
I hope to learn that when the report's ready, yes.
Okay. But as of today, you can't tell us
No.
what was currently open on the judge's file.
No, sir.
Hey, yo, Jeremy Barney got a little bit of petty in him, man. He got some petty in him for real, though. You don't think that's important to figure out, to know what's going on with that phone there? Look, just like the shade is real. Yeah, yes, the shade was super real. Okay, but check this out though. Even though you may not have a full report yet. You ever heard this question? So what do we have so far? Again, I'm an IT person, okay? And for you to do an analysis on things, it don't take forever for you to do it. It would have to be a very complicated issue for you to spend an extensive amount of time, like months, to figure some things out. But if you are talking about taking that phone, putting it in Celebrite, because everybody knows Celebrite is the either Cellhawk or Celebrite are the two they're the end all be all of forensic data for police. Cellhawk, Celebrite. Okay. Within that time frame, it's possible that you could know something. You may not have the full report yet, lead investigator, but something. Just give us a chicken nugget, bro. We ain't asking for a whole sandwich yet, bro. You got a nugget, dog. You got drums or flats ready or something. You ever been at the house, right? It's Memorial Day, 4th of July. Pick your holiday. You know what I'm saying? And the kitchen smelling good. They cooking up, right? They got them grains in there. You know what I'm saying? Some people like to use smoked turkey wings, and some people like to use ham hock. Some people like to use salt pork. You feel me? And they just stirring it up. You know, they got that macaroni and cheese in there. Everything cooking, right? And then you got some things that's already done. And then you got some stuff that's like left. It's like they made too much, so they got some left. You'd be like, yo, I mean, it ain't time to eat dinner, But can I just get a little taste of that real quick? Huh? Can I get a little taste though? You feel me? I just want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to, I ain't trying to lick the pot clean yet. You feel me? I just want a little something. You feel me? That's all we want, Stamper. We just want, how many times did the daughter and the judge talk on the phone? Can we start with that? Or how about phone records, bro? How much is a phone call log? You got that, Stamper? Do you have something for the folk? It's been a month, G. It's been a month, my brother. He ain't got an ounce of data, dog. Nothing to tell us, man. This is taxpayer dollars at work right now, people.
Did you conduct an interview with Sheriff Stein's daughter?
I did not, but she has been interviewed.
Are you
we need to see
aware
that.
of who was present when she was interviewed?
Lieutenant Randy Combs and Detective Anthony Trotter.
Okay. And she was interviewed with or without her parent?
With.
So her parent was present at the time you interviewed her?
Yes, I believe. I wasn't there, but yes, I think so.
The law enforcement has not spoken to her without her parent present?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Did the Kentucky State Police obtain her phone?
No.
You intend to?
Oh my God! Why not? I'm sorry. Let me let it play first, then we'll talk about it.
Obtain records for her cell phone number?
Possibly, yes.
Do you believe that will be soon that you'll do that?
Could be, yes.
Had you already intended to do that, or did you just?
He said, look, the way he asked what he doing soon is crazy, dog. The shade is serious with Bartley. Bartley got petty in him, man. I think he from Detroit like me. Man. He got some petty ways, dog.
For her cell phone number?
Possibly, yes.
Do you believe that will be soon that you'll do that?
Could be, yes.
Okay. Had you already intended to do that, or did you just respond to my question?
Well, the call should be on the judge's records too.
Well, I understand.
And she's made statements about what occurred during those conversations.
I understand that, but I would presume that, have you ascertained whether Judge Mullins also had apps that stand outside all phone records?
I've not received those records yet. I don't know what's on the phone.
Fair enough, but I mean, did you look at the phone? Did it appear there were apps on it?
I'm not the person that's qualified to look through the phone.
Okay, but you're familiar with cell phones. They can host other forms of communication.
Hold on.
Yes, sir.
What's the objection? He's asked a question, I think about 4 or 5 different things. The officer, the detective repeatedly said he does not have a report with phones. He's not good with the phone. He can't testify that matter.
I just want
Let
to
him ask a question where you can only testify what he has personal knowledge about.
absolutely, yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor. So you're aware that phones
So
can
sit down,
be used for apps such as Facebook.
Yes.
Okay. And that is not something that is captured by cell phone records. You would agree with me?
I agree.
So in light of that, although the records may be mutually the same, right, the same between Judge Mullins' phone and the sheriff's daughter, do you believe that you could also ascertain other information from the cell phone app content?
Are you asking what apps are on the phone?
Yes. Well, that was my original question, but I thought you did know.
I've not received that report yet. I don't know what apps he had downloaded on the phone.
If he has social media apps, do you intend to?
That could lead to additional search warrants, yes.
If you would, officer, please let me finish before you move forward, and I'll try to slow down a little bit as well, okay?
Sure.
Take your trooper.
We don't like
Have
that.
you
He didn't like
determined
that.
whether there were any previous issues, personal or professional, between Sheriff Steins and Judge Mullins?
I've heard things.
What have you heard?
Just that this regarding the lawsuit that the Letcher County Sheriff's Office is currently involved with.
The lawsuit that involved ultimately a criminal conviction of a deputy for sexual behavior in the judge's chambers. Is that the one you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay, and the subject matter of that lawsuit, the chambers area, that's the same chambers in which this occurred. Is that correct?
I'm not familiar with the details of that case. the lawsuit resulted from.
Okay. Are you aware of any criminal reports that Sheriff Steins had made of Judge Mullins prior to this day?
No.
Did you personally observe Sheriff Steins following this video?
Did I personally observe him?
Did you meet with him? Did you talk to him after?
He was in custody when I arrived at the courthouse that afternoon.
And at some point, did you draw any observation about his demeanor?
He was mostly calm, I thought. I mean, I talked to him, but he didn't say nothing about why this had happened. But he was calm. He was kind of afraid that basically all he said was, treat me fair. That's basically the comments he made.
Okay.
That wasn't basically the comments he made, treat me fair. This man is outside of his mind. This investigator he needs to be investigated. Not because he might be corrupt or shady, just because of his competence level. Okay, let's just investigate if he's supposed to be doing this. We on this channel, TBIS TV, like, share, subscribe to the channel while you're at it. Come on over. If you're on X, come on over to YouTube and subscribe to the channel, please. Because even on this channel, we have looked at least 15 minutes of the body footage that occurred after he shot Judge Mullins. And he said way more than treat me fair. Way more than treat me fair. That wasn't basically what he was saying. Okay? This man doesn't have... I'm telling you, I need him to step his game up, because I'm questioning everything about this guy right now. And I'm not talking about, again, being corrupt or shady. I'm not even accusing the man of that. I don't suspect that from him so far. But what I'm telling you right now is that there is no possible way that you sitting in front of this guy with his shoes off in the hallway talking about, he basically said, just treat me fair. Yeah, he said that, but he said a lot more than that. He said a lot more than that. As a matter of fact, you will see Mickey Steins in the body cam footage. He don't even remember what Miranda rights is. That's how far gone the man is. When people walk by in uniform, he would stare them down like this. And you sitting there right now, you're only a month out the grease, you still sizzling, and you mean to tell me that all you heard from this dude was basically treat me fair? See, we go off of face value. We all know that he's going to jail. We all know this. This is not what this is about. Is he going to jail or not? Yes, he is, for sure. 100%. He's doing something. He's doing something. Look. If he gets off of this would be a miracle. Okay, this would be unprecedented. All right, it would be diabolical. But let me tell you something. He said way more than treat me fair, and this man sitting here talking about, that's basically what he said. I'm sorry, I'm on my rant. look. see, even Cat Now Williams like, let the TBIS fam take over for sure, 100%. But yeah, this right here just really just burnt me real quick. I'm sorry, but that's all he said. Nah, bro, you wasn't paying attention.
Also make a statement about, I don't see it in the citation here, but somewhere along the line I saw statement being attributed to him about protecting his family.
I wasn't present, but when he was taken into custody, I was told by one of the other officers that were there that he made the comment, they're trying to kidnap my wife and kid.
You heard that. Okay, hearsay.
Have you ascertained any evidence that this shooting was pre-planned?
No.
Okay.
Not this time.
And would you agree that from what we've seen so far, from the evidence you've seen so far, the shooting was a reaction to what was on that cell phone in that moment? Is that accurate?
Objection, Your Honor. Also speculation outside of his scope of expertise.
Your Honor, I believe if he has formed an opinion about the investigation up to this point, especially a preliminary hearing, he can speculate on that, Judge.
Well, understand.
Sure. So, is there anything other than the content of the phone that this video will reveal to us about why this took place?
No.
Does it appear that this took place as a reaction to what was happening in the chambers at that point?
I can say it occurred after a phone call was made. I don't know what was said or nothing like that, but
Fair enough. And I'm not asking you the content of any of that, but at this point, is it your theory that whatever that content was in the discussion was the impetus of the shooting?
it could be, but I don't know that for a fact.
Okay. Do you have any evidence up until this point that you have developed that would demonstrate that it was not as a reaction to what was on the phone?
No,
None whatsoever?
no.
Okay. Just if I have just one moment to confer with the council.
All right, we're gonna stop right here on this one. So he don't know nothing. Like he doesn't even suspect anything. Like he's not even given even what he might think would have occurred. All right. He's not even given, based on what I'm looking at, body language, the back and forth. It seems like Mickey Steins was upset. You could tell the way he was moving around, the way he was this, the way he was that. You could see that he was disturbed by something. He was on his phone. Based on the video, he was on his phone and he got a call. And this call ended. Then all of a sudden he was trying to call his daughter, right? It seems like he was trying to call his daughter. Then, he asked for the judge's phone. He threw the judge's phone back, the judge back his phone, threw it to him. And then he proceeded to pull out his weapon. Okay. So that's if you saw the video, lead investigator. That's if you saw the video. So what were you doing, Stamper? That's the question on the thumbnail. What was Stamper doing this whole time? All right. Let's get into some meat and potatoes. We're about to do this real quick. We're going to get to the meat and potatoes of this because we're going to see what's happening and what occurred before the shooting. We're going to look at some people's opinions about it. We also going to hear from Hillbilly Crime, and shout out to Hillbilly Crime because she actually lives in Letcher County. She has a YouTube channel. If a mod can go to Hillbilly Crime, her channel, just type in Hillbilly Crime, she'll come right up. And if you get the link to Hillbilly Crime and put it in the chat, you will get a lot of information from Hillbilly Crime, not only just about this case, which is like similar to what I'm doing, but also about other things and corruption going on in Kentucky that could have some type of validity in this case. She is, thank you, Kat, I appreciate it. She is very efficient with her information. Why? First of all, she is a woman who has been in the system. She used to be on drugs. She used to be on some type of addiction that she talks about and has recovered from it. And she knew who Judge Mullins was. She knows Mickey Stein. She knows everybody in Letcher County because she lives there. She's a hillbilly. She lives there. But she goes live a lot. Her and her mom, they super cute. Her and her mom was just amazing. And they will go live and look at certain things, talk about certain things, political things that's attached to something. She even has a theory of her own, which I believe as well And I'm going to express that theory a little bit later, okay? Because I want to do some more research with some stuff, because I've been looking into the missing reports of young ladies from like 2020 to like 2022, 2023, around the time of all this craziness going on with sexual favors and people missing and coming up short and kidnapping and stuff. I have researched a lot of stuff about Letcher County. I'm just talking about Letcher County alone. Just Letcher County alone. There are so many reports of young ladies being kidnapped. It really pisses me off. When I started researching this, I'm like, this is so unbelievable that you would think a little small town wouldn't have so much corruption. It's just like saying, it's just like people that go to church. You would think all the small churches wouldn't be so dramatic and gossipy. But then you visit, and then they give you a facade like everything is cool. Then you join them. You're like, wow, y'all really messy. Messy. Did some research on that. And I'm going deep into this. That's why I haven't dropped no like major video yet about certain things, because this whole ARC situation, ARC is the Addiction Recovery Care LLC. I believe the man's name is Tim Robinson, who's the CEO and founder, and ex alcoholic or drug addict or whatever. They really express about alcohol. He started that ARC company in Letcher County. He had one facility. Now, before the facility, he had a house that he was using. Then he started housing more people. He needed a bigger facility. He got one facility. That one facility turned into a whole bunch of facilities across America, including Utah. And he started and was getting paid $130 million. FBI is investigating him right now as we speak. He's allegedly accused of fraud. The recent president of the company stepped down in June. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm just trying to figure out, not only that, the Michael Clark, who was the gentleman that was in chambers, the same gentleman who made a video talking about all the rumors and all the things y'all doing on the internet. Y'all just don't understand what really happened. See, he had convictions of his own. He was trafficking drugs in Letcher County, and the ex-governor exonerated him, pardoned him, took away his entire record. And the governor at the time, he had a relationship with Tim Robinson because they were college buddies. Him, the Attorney General Russell Coleman, Tim Robinson, and the ex-governor of Kentucky were college guys. They knew each other. He exonerated and pardoned, he pardoned Michael Clark, who had a lot of felony convictions on his record. Michael Clark became an employee of ARC. Then ARC gave him a position, and he's been with them ever since. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. Just what's going on here. I don't want to allege anything, but what is going on here? I'm not sure I understand. All right. So I'm still doing a deep dive in that because there is a connection somewhere, and we got to find it out and we got to figure it out. All right. So let's go ahead and finish out for the night, and let's get into what happened before. What happened before the shooting?
And that brings us to the first question in our investigation. And it's about the new video. What happened in the 13 minutes before the shooting? To me, these are the critical 13 minutes. Again, it's video without audio. Here to help us go through all this and answer the question, Elizabeth Jones, host of Hillbilly Crime on YouTube, has been covering the story in depth. And also, we're getting help tonight from behavioral and social scientist, Dr. Abby Morono. Dr. Morono, thank you so much for being here as well. So this is the way I want to do this, because there is no audio. We are just going to press play in a second, show the video, and we're going to watch it together, the three of us and the folks at home, and make any observations. If I'm talking and you see something, just jump in with it, please. So without further ado, let's put it in. This is the 13 minutes beforehand. So Elizabeth, as we begin here, at this moment of time, this is after lunch.
Okay, you got one, two, three, four people in here, right? This is Michael Clark right here. Michael Clark and Steins were together all day, delivering food to families in the community all day long. He been with him all day long. Snapper said nothing to him. He nothing to this man. Now I wasn't even intrigued about saying something to this man, right? So I found that very interesting.
All this is happening, and the first thing we see when the sheriff comes in is that he's clearing everyone out of the room.
Yeah, he does. They said that he's kind of acting aggressive when he says that he needs to talk to the judge alone.
Dr. Morono, do you see anything from the body language, the way the sheriff got the other folks out of the room, the way he's posturing himself in his chair?
Well, there's a couple things. Well, first, he's calm and composed. His body posture is open and expansive. He's taking up a lot of space. He doesn't show any self-soothing behaviors like rubbing his hands or fidgeting, which are commonly seen when someone is experiencing heightened tension. Now, when I originally saw this video, I did have a look at his posture and his seating position and say, okay, that's possibly a dominance display. But reviewing some of the other footage, it looks like he commonly sits like that. So I think that's his baseline. But what's more interesting to me is actually what I'm not seeing. So they're pushing for the insanity defense, but there are certain behaviors that you would expect to see if someone is in a state of, here we can say, paranoia. And one of the main things you would expect to see is hypervigilance. So excessive scanning of the environment, frequent checking behind them, standing with the back to the wall, those kind of guarding movements. Now, when he shooed everyone out of the room, if you watch the way he allows everyone to move around him, he's letting people walk behind him, to the side of him, and he's not showing any cues of discomfort. This isn't expected from someone in a state of paranoia. There's also no erratic or avoidant body language. There's no changes in direction. He's very calm. He's got neutral affect. He's got neutral gait. He seems very goal directed. You know, he's moving efficiently. He clearly retrieves his weapon later on too. So the body language that I'm seeing here isn't necessarily consistent with what I would expect to see for someone in going for an insanity defense.
Fascinating. Meanwhile, Elizabeth, as we watch the judge, oh, wait, he's getting up right now. Let's see what happens here. This is an interesting moment. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. Everything that she just said just now, or your other guest, he does those things, but he just wasn't doing it when she was talking about it. We see him go from the front door there to the back, and he checks both of those doors to see if there's anybody out there listening to their conversation, I think is why he's doing that. And we see him start rubbing his hands. So everything she said.
Those aren't guarding displays. Those aren't necessarily guarding displays. They're checking displays. A guarding display is when other people are present. And when other people are present, typically that's when people are the most defensive. And that's what I'm not seeing.
What'd you think, Doctor, of him going to the door, opening it, taking a peek out, and then sitting back down?
Often when we have a pre-violent check, so when someone is about to commit a violent act, you see these moments of kind of cognitive overload and a decision moment. And to me, those are checking moments. So he has a plan in mind potentially, and then you check whether, is this the time to move forward with my plans? That can be a checking moment. Now, like I said, there are behaviors that I would expect to see that I'm just not seeing. The rubbing of the hands. Now, I don't necessarily think that's a self-soothing because he's I'm not seeing other clusters of behaviors. So just seeing one behavior doesn't mean that it's necessarily a self-soothing display. It could just be a baseline. It could just be a comfort display. It's looking for clusters and looking for sequences. So what I would expect to see is one self-soothing behavior translate into another, or increase in intensity. And I'm not seeing those behaviors. Now, this doesn't mean that he isn't suffering from paranoia or is in a state of insanity. It just means that it's not typically what I would expect. The nonverbal signs of hypervigilance and guardedness are not present. And again, that guardedness is different to the checking behaviors.
Now, the other thing is the conversation is continuing throughout all of this, Elizabeth, because we can see the judge speaking. The judge still, at this moment, looks relatively composed and calm. He's got his cigarette, he's got his coffee, and he's continuing to talk. Obviously, it would be fascinating to understand what they are exactly talking about in those moments. But the bottom line, at this point, everything still seems relatively calm.
Well, something that I kind of noticed here is that Mickey, whenever we hear all of his paranoid talk, like after the shooting takes place, it made me wonder how much of that he was doing before the shooting happened. So one of the things that we hear the witnesses say, all of them said the same thing, that he just acted odd.
Yeah, well, he just got up. He's disappeared out of the sight of the camera. I've never been in there. Do you know what is in the area where he is now, Elizabeth? Are you familiar?
Yeah.
What's back there?
I am. So that's an office. That's the front of the office. When you go into the courthouse, you turn down a hallway and you go into the office. So that would be where his secretary would sit.
Okay.
And then there's a door there to the right, and that's the one that Mickey just went to. So he has went to that, that door, and then he goes to this back one, and then the smoking room is right back on the back side of this judge's chambers. It's there's 3 rooms just back to back to back.
Okay, but although they do smoke in the chambers also, and we've seen folks smoking, so I guess that's an additional smoking room. Doctor, what did you think of that little moment when he went to the back and then went back to the front and kept that door open for a little bit?
Well, it's difficult to say without seeing what he was doing. But it looked like there was a conversation happening when he was opening the door. So it's possible he was talking about moving locations. But the judge didn't seem to be responsive. He didn't seem to be fazed. So my guess would be that the conversation was very calm. There didn't seem to be any aggression. And here what's interesting is we have what's called excitation transfer and emotional contagion, where if one person starts to become aggressive, you can see it in the reflection of the other person's behavior. And here you just don't see any defense really in the judge.
He's leaning in for the first time now, though. He's leaning in on the desk. It looks like the nature of the conversation is changing as he physically gets closer to the judge here.
You can see it as an increase. You can see the judge is saying something with emphasis, and Mickey Steins is moving up like, what? Okay, questioning certain things. Now, what they're saying, the content in which they're saying and what they're saying, we won't know until trial, basically, because this video camera is in the chambers, but it doesn't have audio. However, that lean up is like the conversation is getting intense. The judge knows it. Even the judge is sitting up a certain way now. At first he was lax, had his hands to his head and chilling. Now he is sitting up and he was shaking his head and like, no, this, whatever, like there is certain movements that's letting you know, like this is serious, right? Right. Look, they smoke in the courthouse. Exactly. Like not even smoking in chambers is something that I'm even familiar with. So again, this is a small town, lax town. Everybody know each other. Everybody grew up with each other, and they have become political figures in their community. But yeah, let's proceed, man. This is crazy.
Yeah, usually we lean in with more positive, but it looks like here there is an increase in intensity because you can see the judge looks a little bit tense for the first time. This is the first time you're kind of seeing him less calm, but he quickly retreats, and there doesn't seem to be a large increase of emotional intensity, so it still looks relatively calm.
Go ahead, Elizabeth. It looks like the sheriff has just picked up his phone.
Well, one of the things that I was going to mention was at the very beginning of this video here, when he comes in with the preacher man, it looked to me like there was some tension between Mickey, the sheriff, and the preacher man who he came in with. And it also looked to me like Judge Mullins was kind of smirking a little bit. And that was kind of what I meant earlier when I said,
I'm sorry, just to bring some context, the preacher man that she's referring to is Michael Clark, the only gentleman in the room wearing a hat. That's Michael Clark. He's a pastor. Okay, he's a pastor. So when she say preacher man, she's referring to Michael Clark.
Judge Mullins was kind of smirking a little bit. And that was kind of what I meant earlier when I said, I wonder if Mickey was talking this way earlier in the day, because it seemed to me like they were just kind of rolling their eyes at him, you know, and it just made me wonder if Mickey came in there talking kind of crazy talking, you know, paranoid, and everybody was just kind of rolling their eyes like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And in the video right now, it seemed like he was making some sort of a call, put the phone back down. He's picking the phone up again and appears to be perhaps trying to make another call at this moment. And I mean, he's making the call in front of the judge. The judge doesn't, again, seem concerned at all about the call. But we're getting very, very close now to the moment that he's going to shoot and kill the judge. And he's making calls. That's, to me, that's... Yeah. By itself is fascinating, Elizabeth.
The call on that one.
Yeah, well, one of the things I wanted to point out too before it happens, because I'd love to get the doctor's response to it, is he stands up and he grabs his firearm, and then the judge goes to stand up, and Mickey points back down at the chair, and you can base it like in my head, I hear him saying, "Sit back down," and the judge puts his hands up, and he immediately sits right back down.
Yeah, right now with the phone situation. There is definitely something happening right now. And at this point, Doctor, this is a fascinating part. He has now asked for the judge's phone to make a call. And our understanding is that he's calling his daughter. And again, this is just moments before he's about to shoot and kill the judge.
He gets an unexpected call here too.
Yeah, it's very interesting because, again, I'm not really seeing many pre-violence indicators, which would be as expected. And it all seems very cohesive, very cooperative. He hands him his possession, which again is very cooperative. We also have to remember that there is already a lot of tension in this workplace because of the circumstances recently with the other cases. So there is likely to already be some tension, which could explain why there was tension when he walked in. But here, there doesn't seem to be any indication that something's going to happen. But what I did find interesting, Elizabeth, you said about when he put his hands up naturally and then...
here we go. Here we go. What do you...
Okay, peep, yo, this is man code right here. He tossed that phone like, boy, I'm about to, what? You did, boy? All right, he on one. He on one right now. The man is on one right now. All right. He made the call to his daughter, but that unexpected call that he got was from his auntie. Just to bring clarity, again, if you go to the playlist on the Tavis TV channel of Sean McStuns, you will see that we actually got a close-up of that whole phone. We was able to talk about it. But I want to bring this to our attention again because the footage of the people who been interviewed, they're being interviewed by officers and not the lead investigator. And he doesn't know what's going on. All of this that's going on, he doesn't have a clue. He's not processing like what could possibly make this man do what he did or respond the way he responded. So let's go.
Yeah, it's very interesting because, again, I'm not really seeing many pre-violence indicators, which would be as expected. And it all seems very cohesive, very cooperative. He hands him his possession, which again is very cooperative. We also have to remember that there is already a lot of tension in this workplace because of the circumstances recently with the other cases. So there is likely to already be some tension, which could explain why there was tension when he walked in. But here, there doesn't seem to be any indication that something's going to happen. But what I did find interesting, Elizabeth, you said about when he put his hands up naturally and then...
Okay, Biz Nation, I got a question. Based on what you just saw, did the daughter pick up the phone on her end? 1 in the chat if it's a yes, 2 in the chat if it's a no. Based on what you just saw him call. We just saw this twice. He called. He had the phone to his ear. And he's on it for a nice small period of time. He hangs up, throws it. Did she pick up? All right, Chill saying 1. Got a 1 in the chat. Trakisha saying 1 in the chat. One of a kind, what up, though? Saying 1 in the chat. Yeah. Didn't it look like Sean Mickey Stein's mouth was moving a little bit? And then again, if you look at the body cam footage of Mickey Stein's talking to officers, he doesn't move he doesn't move his mouth with expression at that time. What he does is he's like, when he's saying being fair to me, he's saying it's so low, okay? But that was some expression. It was a minor but meaningful expression that happened just now. One of a kind is in the building. Shout out to you. She said hey to everyone. That's what's up. And thank you so much for being a part of the channel tonight. We definitely appreciate you being a part of the live. She said, I believe that she might have answered a certain way. Possible. Very possible. I truly believe she picked up that phone. Now, how she picked it up, what she said, we're going to leave that up to interpretation. But picking it up a certain way. Now, the indication that she had something going on with the judge has been debunked somewhat by certain people. Like it wasn't about his daughter at all, blah, 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 whatever. Remember, 3 days before he shoots Judge Mullins, he had a deposition. We read half of it on this channel because he was a part of the Sabrina Atkins lawsuit that was filed. He was on that lawsuit because in his official capacity, not as an accuser of doing anything sexual, but in his official capacity because he did not train Ben Fields properly. So, but come to find out, the judge's, the sheriff's daughter's phone number was in the judge's phone, saved. That's a fact. Unless that fact changed during trial, but that is a fact. That's exactly what, even the initial investigation, they mentioned that. So this right here is a little bit deep. It's more so lawsuit related. It's more so like he claimed to have been getting threats to his family and things of that nature, all kind of stuff. Mr. Big Play Bray, what up, though? I appreciate you coming in. First time in. Everybody put Big Play Bray in the chat. Big Play. Put Big Play in the chat for your boy real quick. Appreciate you coming through, fam. Appreciate you coming through. I'm going to give you an official first time in. Welcome. KBTV, man. You're a part of Biz Nation now, man. It is what it is. Put Big Play in the chat. Did the judge have an affair with Big Guy's daughter? I'm going to say no, because it has not been proven yet. No type of foul play between he and the daughter has been brought up. Like no material. So I'm not going to emphatically say yes to that. I will say allegedly, though. Allegedly, there's something going on with that where Sean Steins believes already that they are trying, they being being, judge and, higher ups, people that's threatening them, that they are trying to take and kidnap his daughter. Now, his daughter is 16 years old at this time, 15, 16 years old at this time, which is the reason why I talked about a little bit earlier about the fact that there was a lot of young ladies in Letcher County, Kentucky, being kidnapped. This is real talk. This is like actually stuff that happened. This is not my opinion. This is what we have actual record and documentation of young ladies going missing in Kentucky. When he said they trying to kidnap my daughter, light bulb hit me a little bit like, yo, is he trying to say what I think he's trying to say? Again, that's a speculation on my end. But it's a hunch. It's a hunch. It ain't I don't think it's a bad one. I think it's a good one because that's something that's been going on. You already had the sex for favors lawsuit. My man pled guilty of it. Right? So it's a lot of stuff going on here. But Mickey Steins had already had an indication that his family was under duress and threats. And that's why he's like, let me call my daughter. He took Mullins' phone and called his daughter. Right. And when he called the daughter, it looks like she picked up. He was talking for a second. Got up and he's in this position right here. So we definitely about to see. We definitely about to finish hear the rest of these comments here. But yo, this is really intense here.
Here we go. What are you seeing here, doctor?
This is it, doctor, right here.
This is it, doctor.
We see here he's put his hands up in defense prior to the weapon being in view. So I think that there was some conversation that turned negative. And you can see what's interesting is the judge's natural response was, although his hands were up, he's in a defensive state. So he actually goes almost into fight mode rather than flight mode. He doesn't duck down. He doesn't get smaller. His hands go up to say, I'm not being a threat, but he doesn't seem to make himself any smaller.
And this is, we are extremely close to the moment, and we've reached the end of the 13 minutes prior to the shooting. The shooting takes place right there. Dr. Abby Morono, thank you so much. Your insight is absolutely amazing. We love having you on the show. We'll see you again really soon. Elizabeth Jones is going to stick around. Coming up next, when he picked up his phone, who was he talking to?
Okay, that right there is his auntie. That right there is his actual auntie. All right. So that was just a call that he got at the time. So right there, that's his auntie. How do we know that? It's already been reported. We already talked about this part. That was his auntie. All right.
Matriarch of the Adelson family gets arrested.
Mastermind murder trial. Live coverage.
Thinking fast. Blood doesn't matter that much.
The Matriarch Mastermind murder trial. Live coverage begins this August on Court TV.
Here we go.
Listen off. Like what do you want to say? I don't know.
All right. Now, what are we looking at? We are looking at one of the gentlemen that was in chambers prior to the shoot. This is when Mickey Steins walked in initially with Michael Clark. This is prior to the shooting. This gentleman was already in chambers with Judge Mullins while he's smoking a cigarette in chambers. All right. We're talking about some diabolical situations right here. Okay. I've never seen a judge smoke in his own chambers. I've never seen a judge have a video camera in his chambers. All of this is different. And he's saying everything was odd and blah, 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 right? However, this is one of the officers who questioned this gentleman, and we don't see Stamper nowhere. This is the whole thing. I'm just trying to figure out what type of investigation is this. We already saw, and I'm just referencing, we already saw in the Karen Reed trial where investigations can go very left. Yeah, they can go very left, okay? You can leave a lot of stones unturned. Some of them still turning, All right. Odor of mendacity is what that was. This right here is like an odor of incompetence mixed with some type of puppet mastery or something. Because out of all the people you could get, you get the Kentucky State Police, which they're supposed to investigate, and you get this guy, and he gives us nothing. Like, he gave us nothing at the preliminary hearing at all. He doesn't know anything. He's still investigating and stuff like that. The preliminary hearing was like a month after the shooting, a little bit over that. So what type of investigation took place? We're going to get into all the other meat and potatoes, but what type of investigation took place is what I'm concerned about. We're going to get deeper into it. Let's go.
On Court TV.
You seen off. You seen off. Like what you know, said, I don't know. There's just something that sticks to work. There's a mind person. He wasn't present. So it's off.
It seems most people are very consistent in their observations of Sheriff Mickey Steins before the shooting. He seemed off. He didn't seem like himself. They know the sheriff. They know the way he normally acts, and he wasn't acting that way. Now, there was a moment in those 13 minutes that I want to zoom in on right now, and it's when he makes his first call. And as we looked at it and zoomed in, we realized this was actually a video chat. 3 minutes and 45 seconds before the shooting, it begins, and he calls someone, and in looking at the video, you can see that there is someone else's face on the other side. It's not the sheriff looking at himself. There's actually someone on this either FaceTime or video chat. And it lasts about 20 seconds or so. But again, 3 minutes before the shooting, he is engaging in a video chat with someone, which brings us to the next question in our investigation. Who was he talking to? That person's going to know what he was saying. And again, this is just minutes before all this is happening. Is what he's saying making sense? How important is all this? Helping us with our investigation, Elizabeth Jones, and also joining us right now, trial attorney and author Jeffrey B. Simon. Let me ask you, Elizabeth, in that it looks like it's, a video chat or a FaceTime call, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. There's someone on that other side, and it seems like they're having a quick conversation. Do we know who it is?
We do. So that's his aunt. That is the aunt who he had stayed with. I think he just stayed there the night before the shooting, but that was his aunt.
Okay, so Jeffrey, let's take this now and put it into a courtroom. How important is that conversation? How important is the testimony and observations of the aunt, who seems to be the last person to see the sheriff or speak to the sheriff before he shoots and kills the judge?
Depends on whether you are the prosecution or the defense. He is trying to argue that he is not guilty of murder because he was in a diminished mental state, extreme emotional disturbance, or some form of insanity where he didn't understand the nature of his actions. If you're the prosecution, it's not terribly important to you to prove your case to know who was on the other side of that video chat, because you have video of him killing a man by shooting him multiple times in a manner that looks very cold and very calculated, slowly standing up, removing painstakingly the gun from the holster, pointing the gun at him, shooting him, then circling around the desk to shoot him more times, obviously to make sure he's dead. And so to the extent a picture paints 1,000 words, I think that overall video will prove to be more important probably than who he is talking to by video chat.
And how about the observations for the defense, who is trying to establish his state of mind? This is an aunt, and as Elizabeth told us, this is the aunt whose home he stayed at the night before and would have observed what his demeanor was like at that moment. And obviously she knows the way he normally is.
That's right. And the thesis, I think we understand from the outside looking in, is that from the defense standpoint, is that he believed that the judge was involved in some sort of plot to kidnap his daughter and his wife, and or that the judge was in an inappropriate relationship with his teenage daughter. And maybe the defense will be able to support that thesis through the testimony of the aunt, and that somehow the video chat in the judge's chamber is corroborative of that was his state of mind, irrespective of whether it was an accurate assessment or a delusional one.
Jeffrey B. Simon, great to have you on the program. Thanks so much. When we come back after the FaceTime.
All right. So what we're about to do is get into the latter part of this, because what we're going to do is take a look at these interviews. We need to see these interviews, man. The other people that were in chambers. It's important. This is the reason why we're having this conversation. Because you know what investigators and prosecutors love to do? They love to half-ass. They do. They love to half-ass, man. Oh, got him on camera. He shot the judge, killed him, shot him 8 times. That's it. It's over. He's guilty. Yeah, he is. He's guilty. Yes. What did you charge him with? First degree murder. Was it first degree or was it something else? Again, Kentucky has a death penalty. And this is the court of law. This is the justice system that we have. This is how crazy it is that a person can do that. And if they are not charged correctly and a jury finds them not guilty of that particular type of charge, they could get either acquitted or it could be a mistrial or something. We saw it in the Karen Reed case. There was a mistrial. Hey, second degree murder? No, but this one in the middle, just leaving the scene situation. This right here, we don't know. We're not fully in complete agreement with it. So you know what Bev did? All right, it's a mistrial. Everybody go home. Boom, boom, whatever. No poll, no nothing. Then we have another trial. And so one of the most important things in a trial is the indictment, is the actual indictment itself, what you're charging the person with. And you have to prove that beyond a reasonable doubt that this was first degree murder, that he planned and premeditated this whole thing. He did this knowing, he woke up knowing he was going to go ahead and do it. This was his plan to do it. It was premeditated. This is what you got to prove. The defense is saying we have evidence showing that this was not premeditated, that he was acting out of a passion and he was acting out of insanity. He also have California encephalitis and all these other things. So this is a part of the reason why this is not first degree murder. Did he shoot him and unalive him? Yes. But it's just not murder to the first degree. See, this is how our law system works. It's like you can still do something blatant, and then because the law says something, it could be turned in a different direction. Law-abiding citizen, the movie Law-Abiding Citizen with Jamie Foxx and my other guy, I think his name is Gerard Butler. That movie lets you know off rip, even though that's a movie, art imitates life. Even though that's a movie, low key, we have seen that plenty of times in real life. What did Johnny Cochran say? If the glove don't fit, you must have quit. You feel me? Look, man, let's go ahead and take a look at this, man. Let's go ahead and finish this out, and let's see what these witnesses in the chambers. Let's see what these interviews were.
And I think there was a lot of interest by those people who populated the judges' chambers, for whatever reason, about what Mickey might say in those depositions.
And there you hear Mickey Stein's attorney on this program talking about the people inside the chambers. And again, these are witnesses. Let's take a look at the video again, because when the sheriff first gets there, right, he's there, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 other people plus the judge in the chambers. And then you can see with his arm sort of waves him out, but then closes the door. That's kind of strange, but I guess whatever he's saying, maybe he doesn't want the people outside to hear him. I don't know. But then everyone gets up pretty quickly. And then they all exit the chambers and leave the judge alone with the sheriff. And we've shown you the next 13 minutes that lead up to the shooting. So this brings us to the next question in our investigation.
Yeah.
Who are the other people in the judge's chambers? I mean, these are important people. These are folks who are witnesses to the final moments of Judge Mullins' life. Still here helping us with our investigation is Elizabeth Jones, and joining us, Ann Bremner, trial attorney, fellow of the American College of Trial Lawyers. Great to see you, Ann.
Great to see you, Vinny.
The 3 of the people we have interviews with, police interviews. I want to play short clips from 3 of the people that were inside the chambers.
Are you your name and address?
Christy.
What can you say?
K-R-I-S-T.
What's your last name, Christy?
You work here at courthouse? What
I'm
entry?
pre-trial. I'm case navigator.
So you're on pre-trial?
It's not experience.
Right now?
Judge is not experience.
Let me get your name and address and get all that number for you. Tim, from what I can tell, man, every time I come up here, you've been in the judge's office, you almost been pretty tight. Do you work for the judge or what's your?
No, I work for a comprehensive care center. I'm the director of outreach and helping people in treatment. I have an interview situation.
Are you?
He's my friend. He's my dog, my husband. He's my friend.
I understand. What's your name?
His name's Cash Paul.
What is your, I guess, affiliation with being at the courthouse?
I work for Goodwill Industries of Kentucky, and I do a jail program for reentry. And Christy was one to give me people that are good candidates for my program.
Well, first, it seems like they're all very, very close to the judge, but they all seem to be in this in the intervention and the drug rehabilitation business. Let me ask you, Elizabeth, what is there? Are they all connected in some way? And there was a fourth person in there. Who was that? And does he have any sort of connection to these drug programs as well?
Yes, sir, Vinny. I'm so glad that you got that video. Okay, so the fourth guy that was in there was Michael Clark. He is the community liaison from ARC. And ARC is a big rehab that the FBI announced a Medicaid fraud investigation into last year. ARC, whenever all the funding got sent into Eastern Kentucky for the substance abuse problems, we really started seeing a ton of change in attitude towards medically assisted treatment for a lot of these people. The other fella that we just saw, his name, Mr. Eisen, the guy that was sitting down there in the chair, now he is from another rehab. I have been very critical of all of the waste, fraud, and abuse that has just permeated these rehabs since all this funding came in here. And the courtroom, Judge Mullins was the state of Kentucky's he's the one who started the pilot program for the Senate 90 bill, and it was to try and send people to treatment instead of keeping them in jail. But what it ended up being is just this never-ending cycle of money. You see, they go into
money, and there is some controversy surrounding some of it. Before we run out of time, Ann Bremner, those are the folks who were there. Obviously, they're
see, she touched on something. Hold on now. She touched on something. Let's get him out of jail. Let's put him in this rehab so we can make more money. We already know jail and prison is a business. If you don't know, now you know. It's a business. Look up private prisons. Just Google it and look it up. And I'll let you go down your own rabbit hole if you're interested. Okay? This is a business. But what's bigger business? Insurance. Insurance. Funding. Big business. And what she said made perfect sense. These people have a connection. Even though this particular case is very daunting, very disheartening, very unfortunate. And Mickey Steins is gone. He done. He's cooked. He's cooked. I'm telling you. If a jury found him not guilty of first-degree murder because of the nuanced details that I'm talking about, this would go down in history as one of the worst things possible that ever came across the judicial system. No one is expecting that. Everybody's expecting Mickey to go to jail. We get this. I wouldn't be surprised, when this trial goes on, I wouldn't be surprised if this trial exposed some things that they did not want exposed. And I'm talking just I'm just talking about on the county level, okay? Because when I have looked into what hillbilly crime is talking about, If there is a bridge that goes to the Letcher County office. There is a bridge. Again, I'm still packing it all up because I'm going to drop this video. I have to. I got to. This what she talked about with Michael Clark and Tim, the money, the business that has went on with the Medicaid fraud and all that, I'm telling you, it's deeper than what we think. You know, everything, just keeping it as face value. See, that's a safe approach to things. It's very safe. You know, just keep it at face value. You told me you love me. I believe you. No, stop it. Meanwhile, all the actions of the love that they profess to you doesn't even match the words. But you stay anyway. It's one of the same concept, just in a different form. This is what it is. It's just in a different form. That's all it is. That's all it is. And this right here, what she touched on something heavy. And Benny like, okay, great. Listen, other guests. Let's talk about other guests. Let's talk about this right here. Boom. You see what I'm saying? That was interesting what she did. She threw that in there because that she knows that's going to be something that may be mentioned. It may be mentioned. Even if you have to lay foundation, it may be mentioned even in foundation. Certain connections. Now, I don't think they're going to go into the Spider-Verse with this, but I do think that Jeremy Bartley is savvy enough, and we all see that he throws some shade, so he petty enough to throw some stuff in there so the jury can hear it. Jury, go ahead and disregard what the defense just said. Yeah, I could disregard it, but I can't unhear what I heard. So there may be some type of strategy even in that. Sometimes that occurs, even during a trial. They just mention something like knowing that the jury gonna hear it, hoping that it might take a little bit of precedence. But we shall see. Let's continue.
Important witnesses. Will any more of what they may be involved in their connection to the judge be relevant at this trial?
Oh, that's a great question, Vinny. I don't know so far. It really could be, especially what we've just heard about potential fraud and some other issues. I mean, they were all in there. They also could be relevant as to the sheriff's state of mind. And did he tell them all to get out, or did he just have a minute alone, with the judge? We don't like. They're great witnesses that way too, in terms of an insanity or mental defense, how he was acting at the time. But I think we're going to hear from them. They're the only living witnesses. There they are, right there on video.
Yeah, and I
hear about them.
And I wonder, Ann, if they're going to play into. If this is a mental defect defense, right, play into the delusion that all these people are somehow involved in something that he believes in his mind that put his family in danger.
Exactly. That's brilliant, Benny. I think that's exactly right. They got to get out.
And it would be connected perhaps to the controversy of the deposition, because he's being deposed about some controversy with the program as well.
Hello.
I mean, maybe in his mind it all comes together, and maybe in reality there is some connection as well.
That's excellent. It's a great defense. His lawyer seems pretty confident about it, doesn't he? That's what the kind of defense they're going to have. I mean, big time. So I think that he wants you on his team, probably.
Well, we'll be covering it for sure. Ann Bremner, great to see you. Thank you so much. Elizabeth Jones, host of Hillbilly Crime on YouTube. Always appreciate your insight, being an insider there. Thank you so much. Sheriff.
Yo, shout out to Court TV, man. Just shout out to Benny, man. Appreciate Benny, dog. Look, so we see that the witnesses all were on the same page. Something was odd that particular day with old Mickey. What was it? I don't know. But he was just acting strange. And the judge was my best friend. He was acting strange. Something's wrong with Mickey. Does that add to the insanity defense? Or does that add to the prosecution's case? They're the ones that have the burden of proof with the charge that they gave, which is first-degree murder, premeditated, pre-planned, pre-thought, pre-provoked. Hold on, Starfish and Coffee. Then he cut Haley Billy off because he didn't want her to say nothing about art. And there you go. There you go. Because there is a level of responsibility that the network would have to take or presume or even defend in certain cases, you know. Yeah, that's an ongoing investigation, so it's hard to talk about, prove, or whatever. However, we've been on the hunt for some stuff over here, and I'm just cooking. I'm cooking, man. I'm telling you, I'm braising this story. I'm braising it. Now, ain't nobody gonna rush me. I'm taking my time with it. I'm getting all the info I need. But yeah, he cut her off, and see, this is the thing with this type of case, this type of it's on camera. You can plainly see what it is, but is the indictment correct? Now, remember, the motion to dismiss the indictment was because of the fact that there was an alleged secret grand jury meeting between the prosecution, Clayton Stamper, and the grand jury, and they had questions to investigate what was going on, and they couldn't ask no questions according to the motion. And then the prosecution did respond. However, we didn't get the actual document. The actual document didn't go forth in the public, which I'm still trying to figure out why. I've been searching high and low for it. I still can't find it. But we do know that they did have a response, and now it's up to the judge, the special trial judge, Christopher Colon, who is supposed to be presiding over this case now. They also had a preliminary hearing because, again, he was appointed this case, and so I believe we have it in my channel as well. As a matter of fact, if we go to my channel real quick, I want to check out some things here. We go to my channel, and I did this a while. This is a while back too. It's a while back too. I did a video actually of this. That's what it was. I did a video of this. Matter of fact, this is the link. I'm going to show you the link. I'm going to give you the link real quick here. The link I'm sorry, those that are on X, the only way you can get the link is if you come on YouTube. I'm sorry. I can't post any comments in the live channel on X. But go ahead. This is the link right here. I just well, this is in my rock salt font, but if you go to the link, you will see the video where we actually cover the preliminary court hearing of Mickey Steins before trial. And it's going to be like a 6-month discovery time frame before there's even a trial date. Okay. Before there's even a trial date. So I think this was about maybe 5 months ago, maybe 5 or 6 months ago. So we're almost at the time frame where we're going to get a trial date, maybe. And however, there was a motion to extend a little bit for Jeremy Bartley because he had talked to Ned Pillersdorf, who was the attorney for Sabrina Atkins, because Sabrina Atkins' attorney wanted to do another deposition with Mickey Steins, since Mickey Steins talked about being insane at the time. Ned Pillersdorf is like, Well, the last time I had a deposition with him, which was 3 days before he shot the judge, September the 16th. September the 16th is when Mickey Steins had his deposition. 3 days, 72 hours before he shoots and murders the judge. He wasn't in his right state of mind. And now he's getting reevaluated by the Kentucky Correctional evaluators. I may need to ask this dude questions again while he's in a different state of mind. See, that's going on too right now. So it's a lot going on with this case. I'm keeping my ear to the ground until I have something confirmed and legit, so that way I can present it to you all. We can go through it together. But that video, the link is in the chat, and you can take a look at this video, and you will see that the preliminary hearing that took place is where all of this went down, where it's okay for him to get the reevaluation, and so all that kind of stuff, Cat Williams said, I think it would be more significant as a mitigating factor in sentencing. I don't know what I think. Motions and an eval could change my mind. Then she said, I think I'm behind talking about insanity, LOL. Yeah, you might be, Cat. I know Cat is on a little bit of a replay situation. Yeah, so this is definitely very, very interesting. If you go through the playlist, you will have the Mickey Steins playlist. There's no link to share the actual playlist, but it's like 15 videos or whatnot. I'm going to add this live to it as well. So 15 videos, that's including lives as well. I think some shorts as well, maybe, where we have this whole thing. And one of the videos that we dropped was the Ben Fields interview with the Attorney General. We talked about that too, which is very, very interesting. But yeah, I would love to, especially those that's watching on replay, I would love to know what you all think in the comments. This was a very, very interesting, I think, live here to see how the investigation piece of this whole thing did not really pan out to be anything really. Like the fact that the lead attorney did not have any more so far information. I mean, you may not have you're not going to have all the information after a month of all this happening with the phone records and all that kind of stuff. But man, can you give us something? Can you give us something? I mean, shoot, at least, I mean, even in the Barry Morphews case, which is in Suzanne Morphew case, which is what we have touched on as well. I mean, we saw some records. We saw phone records from Verizon. We saw location situation. We saw that her body was moved more than once, maybe twice. Like we covered some stuff here on that too as well. I'm keeping my ear to the ground on that too. So those are the two cases for sure that I'm really, really like interested in, that I want to continue to follow, man. But yo, I appreciate everybody rocking out with your boy. I appreciate you. Also, always appreciate KP and Tracy Talks. I appreciate Chill, of course, always mind of all minds. I appreciate Cat Williams as well. Trikisha in the building. I appreciate you for coming through, stopping by. Starfish and Coffee. I'm just going through the list here. I had One of a Kind in the building. Sleepy was in the building. You feel me? She wasn't so sleepy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she might be sleeping now. I don't know. You know what I mean? But it was a lot of people that peeked in, didn't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? They just wanted to see what was going on. It was in the bushes like Beverito. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to see what was going on, So yeah, but definitely I want you all to stay tuned with your boy, man. Go ahead and like, share, subscribe this particular video, and subscribe to the channel. It's a lot of things that we're trying to do here on this side, man. And I'm trying to take the time to do it. And so no time like the present. So I'm gonna keep moving forward. All right. It's your boy Tay Biz TV, man. I'm out of here for the night. I I may have some stuff coming up again. Like I said, I gotta keep doing some research here, especially with this situation, with this ARC situation. It's pretty crazy. Until next time, y'all. It's your boy.
I brought that with me. Case they get too iffy. Baby, don't stress, don't sweat it. Put it all on my baby. Know how I'm coming. And they know what we hate. Run around through that left side, low end. All of mine need more wins. If you got beef, don't come out. My young hitter might go in. Uptown GN. Working all through my weekend. Hoping these don't show out. Cause all of my hitters too deep in. With the boy, I'm so ashamed. Ain't worried about long as my money and my green. Baby, I ain't got work tomorrow. Tell me what the business is. Ain't about no club hop. I'm trying to start some businesses. Shorty, you thought it was, they better know it's not that. Talking all that online, they knowing that it's not fake. Sliding through my hood, I make maneuvers like a Uber, baby. Got a 10-year plan, these can't tell what they doing lately. And I'm way too clean, I'm Listerine, I thought they been knew it. All in my lungs, I got my red cup full of that hint fluid. Young middle Mad Mac, I'm swinging that leg, I'm banging that do or die. And I ain't that legally before I get crucified. Living in my bloodline, this place in my family tree. How the they pressed, I did my best out of what they handed me. Straight out of that country, know my shawty thick as human air. And I need not mention no extensions, that's human hair.